But we need to talk, I'm afraid, about Harry and Meghan, because they're going to win, or they're going to be given an award, an anti-racism award, would you believe, over in America, the Joseph Kennedy Foundation, because they've been so brave. Angela, very good afternoon to you. Do tell us about it.
Well, they say that they've actually dared to attack the racism within the monarchy, which is one of the reasons why they're giving this. However, who do you know of the royal family who's actually worn a swastika on his...
There was Harry, I seem to remember, wasn't there?
Ah, yes. He's the only one that's only showed any sort of...
He also, did he not call a rather nasty name to somebody at Sandringham when he was training to be an officer in the
when he was
forces?
training officer, the Pakistani.
Yes.
He was very, very rude to him. So this is a case, a pot calling the kettle black. However, what's very interesting is something I've often thought, that you can lie your way through something the first time because nobody looks at the second when people come and interrogate it and look at the facts and see if they are actually accurate. And this is what Kennedy's daughter, who's giving them this award, has done. It's all from Oprah Winfrey's interview, when we know it's absolutely packed with lies. And they've never come out and said who the person was who wonders of the colour of Archie's skin would. But, I mean, it's not it could have said, what's the colour of his hair going to be? That's not a racist comment.
Well, also, the comment was never attributed to anybody in particular.
Exactly.
And what we do know about that interview was that there were at least 37, I think, untruths in it, weren't there? Yeah, there were more untruths than there were truths, actually. But you see, so that's one thing, that this woman, who's supposed to be very intelligent, she's a lawyer, and she should know to investigate. You don't just take the top off and go with that. And so that's a nonsense. And the other thing about them showing no understanding of mental health is equally a nonsense, because all the palaces are packed with medical people at your attention. Harry had a help with his medical condition, but he didn't want to tell his parents about it, so he could have done it himself. And of course, Meghan, who was nearly 40, would go to see an obstetrician every 2 or 3 weeks. And why didn't she say that to him or her? It's just a bag full of lies, and it's outrageous that they're going to be awarded the same day that the president of Ukraine is going to be awarded. How can they do that? It's outrageous. And I think that this is Harry to go against his family like that, to actually call them those names when he knows in his heart that's not true, is really beyond disgraceful. Meghan, of course, doesn't care because she's got her own view of the truth. Mainly non-truth. Yes, well, that's her. She has. It's her belief, isn't it? That she's already said in the past that she disregards anything that she may have said, which may be wrong, because it was her truth and it was her belief. Therefore, to her, it was true. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yes, it's nonsense. But people warm to it because they think, oh, this is a really original thinker. That's nonsense. I can't bear the thought that they're going to win an award for that because they're not humane. Look at each other's family. You know, Meghan has taken him away from his father and his family, and she only speaks to her mother. So she's got you can't just be very nice to odd people that you choose. You have to be a humane person who treats the world and everybody in it, including your family, with respect. And I think she's brought out the most evil side of Harry. We all have a bad layer somewhere, but we want people who bring out the best in us, not the worst.
Yes.
And Meghan has definitely brought out the very worst in Harry. It's shameful.
It really is. And the good news, though, for them is that if you wish to go and sit with them at the Ripple of Hope Gala in New York on December the 6th, you can sit next to them. It only costs you $1 million.
Yes, I know. I hope that they're getting too big for their ambitions. They will all go pop. Because I think we've all had enough. Really, it's
No,
true.
You're right. Listen, people are fed up to the back teeth. And I'm told in America people are getting fed up with them as well.
Yes. Well, because they see the pile of lies coming ever higher and higher and higher. and the arrogance about them and the way they feel.
But also everything they said about the royal family in that Oprah Winfrey interview, where he said that he had been cut off by his family, wrong, incorrect. His father had given him £5 million the year before. He'd also got a £30 million trust fund from his mother. You know, I don't talk to my father, he won't take my calls. All of this rubbish about, you know, racism in the family and people suggesting things and how she wasn't made to feel welcome. Well, why did they come back for the Queen's funeral? They didn't. Oh. They came back because they were doing some charity work, which they were also presumably getting paid for. And then, because the Queen died, they hung around and they didn't seem to be uncomfortable at all being in the company of all these people that they so hate.
Well, Meghan managed an artificial tear, at least I think it was, because she did a website, not a tweet of her own, where she said the one thing she's learned is how to cry out of her left eye. Count to 4, she said to the person, and watch me. And a tear came down. That was...
well, she is an actress, after all.
Yeah, exactly. But not all actresses can make tears. But you think, you hate this monarchy. You don't want to come. You don't want to have anything to do with it. Yet you're hanging on to the titles and you're arguing non-stop for titles for your children. Why? Why not ditch it all?
Well, that's the other thing that she said, that little Archie and Lilibet were not getting titles because of racism. Well, guess what? Now they've got a title because they've moved one up in the pecking order after the death of the Queen. She hasn't gone back to Oprah and say, oh, I got that wrong, actually. They didn't get the titles because they were not next in line. Now they've got them, so I apologise to the royal family for making out that they were racist.
Yeah, they've got them, but King Charles might not actually let them have them. I think they're working away to a huge explosion where he will be able to remove their titles. You know, there's a Labour MP in York who's done a private member's wish in Parliament that Prince Andrew does not have the title for York. They're ashamed of him. And if this is heard and goes through on December the 10th or 9th, the King will then have an opportunity to remove their title should he want to.
Yes, so because he doesn't want them being left in any possible chance of running the country at any point, does he?
Well, having anything to say, because you can't believe them, you can't trust them. That's what's terrible.
Yes.
Just can't trust.
It really is. Now, is there an upcoming visit to America from William and Kate?
Yes, William and Kate are going off in just over a week. They'll do their bit with William about climate change, but they'll also go around and see people. I'm sure they won't visit Harry and Meghan because they're bound to have an extremely busy few days there. But the idea is to get America to like them and to show a balance within the royal family from Harry and Meghan. It's very, very well timed because although they might be winning, where Harry and Meghan will be winning this award, people are disgusted in America because they can see they've done nothing compared to real, true people, philanthropists. And they will see how wonderful a couple they are and how they really care and how good they are with children. Meghan often gets pushed away by little children. It's really funny when she has several photographs where they push her out the way.
No, exactly right. And I saw the other story at the weekend I just want to mention is that now that Princess Meghan isn't happy with the house in Montecito, they want to move to Bel Air.
Yes, they want to move to Bel Air because their house at £40 million, which most of us would never be able to get to anyway, is very cheap, according to other people in their area. Some of them have got them up to 100 million and all that sort of stuff. So she wants to go to another place, claiming perhaps that it'd be nicer and quieter. She doesn't want quiet. She wants everybody making a noise and shouting hooray for her. But they think there's another place that will... that they can go to. She can't stay very long with anything, can she?
She seems to have a very short attention span, and whenever anybody says anything which is mildly something that she doesn't like, she's off.
Yeah, she's off, but she also changes her mind about what she wants to do. 1 minute it's being a global star, the next minute it's writing another book, then it's sort of being in a film, having the lead in a film. She's a very unsatisfiable woman. She's not, however much you gave her, I'm sure she would want more. She's just one of those types of women. I'm not very nice about her, but then I don't think she's been very nice.
No, quite. I think that's the problem. Good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Angela Levin, author of her latest book, Camilla, From Outcast to Queen Consort.